Hello everyone, Minute Plus Meditation here, Monday, June the 27th. Feast of Saint Cyril of Alexandria today. So we're reading from the book Prophet Amos from the Old Testament, and this is a section of that reading. God is saying to the people through the prophet, "Yet I destroyed the Amorites before them, whose height was like the height of cedars, and who was as strong as oaks. I destroyed his fruit above and his roots beneath. Also I brought you out of the land of Egypt, led you 40 years in the wilderness." So what is God doing here? This is the repeated scenario. It's very tragic and it's totally unnecessary, but it seems to be necessary. I mean, when I say totally unnecessary, it means objectively speaking, but subjectively speaking, God needs to do this over and over and over again, because the people forget the covenant, they toss it aside if they know anything about it at all, and they go after the foreign nations, the godless pagan nations, their ways, rather than be salt of the earth and evangelize these people, show them, be lights to the world. They actually become part of them. So they begin to worship false gods. They offer their children in sacrifice. I mean, it's actions have consequences. This is what much of modern society is wanting us to forget, is actions have consequences. When we toss God out of our lives, get out. Maybe you can go worship God in the corner, facing the corner of the wall, and you can be fine as long as you do that, keep your religion private. Then otherwise, shut up, But we know actions have consequences, and actions without God, this is what we degenerate to, is we become like these people who toss the covenant aside. These are the children of God. These are the chosen ones, right? So if they act like this because they've kicked God out of their lives, then you and we're going to be even worse, because we're like the sow that goes back to the mire, to use an image of Jesus. So we need to keep renewing within ourselves every day the covenant, our promise to be faithful, to ask God to help us be faithful to Him, to serve Him. The morning offering, when you get out of bed, serve Him. I will serve you, Lord. Very important. No day should ever go by when you do not recommit yourself to the Lord. And if you're married, recommit yourself to each other. We should never, ever ride on our sense of discipline, or we don't need to do this over and over again. We need to do it every single day. And when we don't do it, we begin to slide backwards. It's the law of life in a fallen world. And it's the path to happiness. It's fighting for the good is happiness. Okay, so to the gospel, we are in Matthew chapter 8. So we're out of the Sermon on the Mount. Yes, this is Jesus is going to leave the crowd, and a scribe then approached him and said, "Teacher, I will follow you wherever you go." Jesus said, "Foxes have holes and birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man has nowhere to lay his head." And two others do the same thing, and our Lord seems to brush them off, or the answers seem to be cryptic, but these would have been understood by the people of his day. He's more or less saying to them, I think they're what are called idioms, that were understood by the people. He's basically saying, if you're going to follow me, you have to take into account the commitment. You don't just follow me willy-nilly, but you have to take into account that there's a commitment here. The second one, Lord, let me first go and bury my father. And Jesus seems to answer him cryptically again, or in a weird kind of way, But Jesus said to him, "Follow me and let the dead bury their own dead." So it's actually 2 times here. No, there's 3 times. Foxes have holes and birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man has nowhere to lay his head. I think there's at least 2 or 3 of them. So the point being is that following Jesus involves sacrifice. And it involves now. When Jesus calls, it means now. Because we don't know when he's going to pass by again. It's like Emmaus. Remember, Jesus was going to go on, and after walking with these 2 individuals, and if they had not called him into the house, he would have simply gone on, and they wouldn't have seen the risen Lord. They wouldn't have gone back, to the apostles. Their life would have been completely different. We don't know when Jesus will pass by again. So when you sense that Jesus is calling you, seize upon it now, today, when you can do it, when he's there. Because again, you just don't know. So this is essentially what our Lord is saying is don't waste time, don't waste the opportunities, don't be mesmerized by all the glitter and glamour of the world, but pay attention to my presence in your life. God bless you.